Hello, friends. I have a confession to make today. 2 nights ago, I did something really stupid. I read an article about 10 ways to deter burglars from breaking into your house. And the article also included 10 things about your house that may make it susceptible to burglars. And I read this just before I went to bed. So as I laid my head on the pillow, closed my eyes, and tried to go to sleep, my mind started immediately racing with these thoughts of fear. I thought, did I forget to lock the front door? Did I lock the back door? Is the porch light on? Oh, I didn't set up renter's insurance for this new house that we're renting we just moved into last week. What if somebody broke into the house? What would happen to my children? What would happen to my wife? What would happen to me? What would I do? What should I do? And so these thoughts just started racing, and these fears started welling up into my heart. Where should you and I go? What should we do when we're in those moments of fear, in the darkness? Where should our thoughts go? In Psalm 27, verse 1, David writes 2 truth statements of confidence in God, followed by 2 rhetorical questions. It goes like this: the Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? I don't have to be afraid of anyone because the Lord is my light. He will illumine my path. When I'm walking through dark valleys, when I'm going through difficulty, He will give me His perspective about life. He has given me light and understanding for life, and He is my salvation. He is the one who has redeemed me, my soul, from the pit of hell, and He will rescue me from my enemies. And even though I don't have immediate deliverance, perhaps from the circumstances of life, I know that I have an eternal home with Him in heaven, and that in the end, God wins. So the first statement, the Lord is my light and my salvation. And we don't have any reason to fear anybody. And here's the second statement, the Lord is the defense of my life. Whom shall I be afraid of? I don't need to be afraid of anybody because God is the one defending me. He will guard my soul. He will keep me. He will protect me. The Lord will always be strong enough, truthful, and trustworthy to those who seek refuge in Him. So when you and I have these fears welling up in our hearts and our minds start racing, take confidence in God, who is stronger than, who is greater than, you fill in the blank. God is greater than. His defense is greater than, you fill in the blank. He is your light. He is your salvation if you're in relationship with Him by grace through faith. And the Lord is always near to those who call upon His name, and there's no reason to fear if the Lord is near and He is present with His people. If you have the indwelling power of the Spirit in you, the same Spirit that raised Jesus Christ from the dead dwells in you if you're in relationship with Jesus Christ by grace through faith. And that means you have the abiding presence of God. It means it's not just a mere cerebral thing to remember that God is near in your brain, but a supernatural presence that God is with us and that He calms our fears. When we call upon Him in faith, we know He is near, and there is therefore no reason to fear. So God is greater than, you fill in the blank. Any circumstance, any fear, God is the defense of your life. And then He goes on at the end of chapter 27, He says this, I would have despaired unless I had believed that I would see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. And then verse 14, wait for the Lord. Be strong and let your heart take courage. Yes, wait for the Lord. And so when you're in those dark moments of fear, maybe you are laying in bed and your mind is racing, wait for the Lord. Remember, recall that He is near. Call upon Him in prayer. Remember that He is always strong enough and trustworthy and truthful to those who seek refuge in Him. And then here's this beautiful picture sandwiched in the middle of this psalm, in the middle of this poem. He said, for my father and my mother have forsaken me, That's an extreme example that even if your father and your mother abandoned you, what an amazing despair you'd find yourself in if you were in that situation. But he says this, but the Lord will take me up. The word is to receive, to gather, to pick you up. The Lord does that for his children. So later on that evening, a thunderstorm and lightning storm collided above our house, and it was crashing all around, and rain was starting to pour down, and our young son, Hudson, raced over from his bedroom and jumped into bed. And what were the words that we heard him say? I'm scared, Mommy and Papa. Am I okay? Am I safe? And we said, yes, Hudson, you're safe. You can lay with us. It's okay. And within seconds, he was back asleep because he was near to us. And how much greater than a father and mother on earth is God's presence. The omnipotent, transcendent creator of all the universe is near to us who are in relationship with him by his grace and through faith in him. And he picks us up. He cuddles us in his arms, as it were. And we can take confidence, strong confidence in him. The Lord is the defense. The Lord is your light. The Lord is your salvation. Whom shall you be afraid of? No one. Whom shall I fear? What shall I fear? Nothing. Because God is greater than any circumstance, any fear. Yes, take courage. Be strong. Wait for the Lord. Yes, wait for the Lord.